Kemi, lawyer Dr. Kemi, there's a lot of things that you don't know about the IPOB. I'm going to let you know today, December 4th, 2025. As a journalist, I witnessed some things that many of you were too young to remember. Yeah, too young. In 2016, when Nnamdi Kanu came back home from the UK to Nigeria, he was arrested at a hotel with a woman who was not his wife. When all that was squared out, Nnamdi proceeded to advertise the separation of Nigeria through the Biafra agitation. When he started the agitation, the Nigerian government was in fear. They were in fear because they felt like it could lead to an uprising and people were believing him. When President Buhari was alive, at least in that 2016 side, whether the fake one or the real one died the next year or this year, 2016 is what I want to talk about. During that year, Nnamdi Kanu had some rallies all around the southeast. Those rallies were gaining momentum. They were very, very crowded and packed with people. People who wanted to relive the past, the Biafran War. President Buhari said Biafra is dead, Biafra is gone. President Obasanjo said the same thing. All the top high-ranking leaders in Nigeria always talk about Biafra being dead and Biafra being gone. But they forgot that Biafra could be a movement later on in life. As a journalist that I am, even though I'm retired, journalism is a rough draft of history, and history shapes the past, the present, and the future. There is no way that Biafra is dead. Some of us were 6, 7 years old watching the Biafran War on television and seeing our mates being starved by Obafemi Awolowo, who was the Minister of Finance at the time and was authorized by Yakubu Gowon not to release money for them to eat. Many children died of kwashiorkor and other diseases. You saw their photographs with their big stomachs and starving. This is probably where my trauma came from as a child, watching that on TV. I went through a lot of trauma in my childhood, different things. I've told some of my story. But watching the Biafran War on TV and seeing children your age mates starving and forced to eat nothing because some people were taking orders. So if you think why some of the Biafrans hate Awolowo is just ordinary, it's not. I'm telling you the story now. History was not my subject in school. I wasn't interested in it. But current affairs was my subject. That's what led me to journalism. In 2016, when Kanu's peaceful rally, and I said peaceful, when he started these rallies, what scared Buhari was the fact that it was gaining momentum. The crowds were large. They did not harm anybody. The Biafrans did not do anything like breaking the law or harming people. They were just going to these rallies from cities to cities, towns to towns. And the magnitude of the crowd intimidated Buhari. Buhari sent out troops, military troops, to Onisha, to the rally over there, and they opened fire at several IPOB peaceful protesters. I can't forget that. I'm 61 years old. And whatever it takes to write a petition to the ICC, the Biafrans missed that petition from the genocide of the Biafran War. Years later, it repeated itself at a rally in Onitsha. Whatever it takes, I feel that the International Criminal Court needs to hear the case. But the person that ordered it has died, Buhari. It was a war crime. And even if there was no war, it was a human rights violation. Amnesty International and myself were the only ones that were tweeting it, that were talking about it for years. There was a massacre in front of everybody in Nigeria, and you all acted as if you didn't notice. Many people were killed. Many Igbos were killed in 2016. The ones that survived were all arrested and taken to Port Harcourt prison. The one arrested in Onisha, Imo, they took all of them to Port Harcourt prison, the maximum prison, the largest in Africa, because they considered them dangerous, people who were peaceful protesters. And then 2017 started. In March of 2017, IPOB arrested me. I went to Port Harcourt prison 3 times that year. In March, in July, and in October. Because Kennedy Okoko, my spiritual son, decided to arrest me each time and frustrate me. I did not perfect this bill. I did not do that. Where's Kennedy now? Dead and gone. He died disgracefully in a botched plastic surgery in Lagos during the pandemic. What is this life worth where you make life hard for other people? It was in Port Harcourt prison that I discovered the IPOB boys. 18 to 25-year-olds, 10 years ago, almost. All innocent, did not commit any crime. On the women's side, we had Mama Weri. She was not in IPOB. She was the elderly lady in the cells. Mama Biafra was there. She was in the protest. All the Biafran girls, they let them all go eventually. There were not a lot of them. But they arrested a lot of young men, 18 to 25. The Nigerian army dumped them in the prison. Many of them have died in custody. It's a human rights travesty. The ones still alive, I left them there when I left the prison. The third time I left the prison would be January of 2018, my final release after 3 arrests. The week after I left prison, everyone knows I spent a month in Port Harcourt before I went back to Ibadan. That Ibadan I went back to my family would be the beginning of my nightmare. In the hands of people I was trusted to care about me, my own family. I've told the story on Kemi Talks Live. But let me tell all of you now. I want you all to listen to me very carefully. There are young men inside Port Harcourt prison who are 18 to 25, and many of them have died in the prison. That the Nigerian government have not issued bail. If they had bail, I will go in there and bail people out with money. But they've made it hard for them so they cannot get bail. They consider them a threat to the country. They are not a threat. You wasted their young childhood because they simply went to a rally that Nnamdi Kanu had. It was a peaceful rally. I was the only person that was writing about the IPOB in 2016. If you remember at Petal FM where I was, even Petal FM news director kept telling me not to write about IPOB. Then suddenly Vanguard started writing about IPOB, and then Punch and the rest of them. Because I know what news is, but I don't have the power of the big media. I've always told the truth in news. No one has written about this young man. I went back to the prison a week after I was released, and I took 20,000 naira to the prison and gave out 200 each. 200 naira in the prison is a lot of money because 50 naira will get you a meal. They were jumping, they were stampeding each other. Nobody was injured, but I gave them money. That was the last I saw of the IPOB boys. It's now 10 years since 2016, and President Tinubu has not done a thing about it.